Good afternoon, this is Vernon Birmingham with KCKPreps.com here, preparing for our KCK Preps Game of the Week. We're doing a new feature here with KCK Preps where it's so new, we don't even know the name of it yet. But what we're trying to do is bring you a little more insight on the coaches that are in the 10 schools that we cover with KCK Preps. So with the big game looming this evening, we took time to spend with Coach Parra, the head coach of the Sumner Academy Sabres. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing good.
That's good. So, as I said, this is a new segment for us.
Yeah.
It's brand new. It's kind of like a freestyle. We're kind of going on top of the dome a little bit.
All right.
But let's just talk a little bit about you. A lot of individuals know you as the coach,
Yeah.
but tell the fans, community, you teach here. What do you teach? What do you like to do? Spare time, things.
All right. I teach biology here in physical science. I've been teaching now for 16 years in the district. I started at Washington High School 4 years, and I've been here for the last 12 years. Spare time, I like to spend a lot of time with my son and my family, my wife. I coach his little league baseball team, so I do a lot of that in spare time.
I kind of joked with Coach earlier when I came into his classroom. You would assume most coaches, I used to assume most coaches either taught social studies or they taught PE, and I came in and started seeing equations and things on this board. So it's kind of even impressed me a little bit more, even that you're deep in thought on the court, but deep in the classroom as well.
Yeah.
So big game looming this evening.
Yeah.
You find yourself in a familiar spot that's become accustomed to you the last few years. Opportunity to win a league title. What do you tell your team?
Exactly that. That they have a great opportunity in front of them. Last year Washington ran the table, so it's one of those where they got us twice. So. A little revenge factor too to beat them, and especially with their full squad. I think our team and our kids are going to be raring to go, just to have an opportunity to go out in style for the seniors. To go out with a league title that they didn't get as juniors. So it's a big deal for them, I think.
You made a great point. You mentioned last year Washington ran the table, and right now in league you're standing 8-0 right now.
I think so. You
have an opportunity to run the table. How tough is that to do in a league such as the KCK?
Yeah, it's as tough as league as there is anywhere in the state. So, you could talk to Coach King about that last year, all the pressure he had, and what a job he did and his team. And, we did 2 years ago. We ran the table, or 3 years ago, we ran the table and went 10-0. It's definitely hard, and that's, right now we're just thinking, one game at a time. Let's take Washington, and we'll look forward to next week when we get there.
No, I was thinking myself yesterday, actually, your KCK product. I'm former KCK, and even thinking back in the days when we played, even though at the time Sumner was in the Huron League,
yeah.
But the old KCK League, it was every year it seemed like the league would come down to a game or two.
Yeah.
You think? What do you think? That's good for the league, don't you?
Oh
think?
yeah.
Great, and last year sending 2 teams to the state tournament, and this year we have a chance again, probably maybe even send 3 teams to the state tournament. It's great. I think our league is so tough year in and year out that, go on the road, anybody can beat anybody. Wyandotte has been in a lot of close games this year. Harmon's as good as anybody in the city, I believe. And you got Washington over there with a great team and a great coaching staff. So, it's a great league. And Coach Johnson over there at Schlegel, what a great job they do. So, it's a great league. It's a fun league. A lot of rivalries, but, in the end, we all root for each other at the end of the year.
Excellent. So we know, a lot of fans in the community know about Vinnie Parker. One of the top players in the city,
we got a
the state of Kansas, in fact. Commit to Nebraska, I believe. But let's talk about some of the other guys on your team that stepped up this year. Who are some guys that come to mind and really stepping up and filling some of that leadership?
He did a lot on himself, and to his credit, he's got himself ready every game. Every game he makes my eyes open. Every game he comes up with new moves and new ways to score. And his shot has gotten so much better, and he's an all-around player for us. And Marcus, we wouldn't be 15-3 without Marcus. Another one's Alex Garvin. His first year playing varsity has really stepped up. His scoring is there. He's gotten better and better every week on defense, and doing the little things to stay in games and things. And then Dion Tripp is just a well-rounded player. He does Mr. Everything for us. He defends great, rebounds great. He's our best passer. He does a little bit of everything and kind of keeps our team together at times.
Excellent. So Earlier this year, KCK Preps did a pretty big game with you guys in Baser. And you guys lost a tough one, got down a lot, and fought back. But since then, you've won 11 straight.
Yeah.
What did you tell your team that night or that next day to get on this winning streak?
Yeah, one thing is we talk a lot about you don't win championships in December and early January. You know, you got to get better and gear for February and March, because that's when you really win. You know, what the games that matter. So one thing we learned is, we got to start off well every game and not just play 2 quarters or 2.5 quarters. We got to play 4 quarters of basketball against good teams. You know, Washingtons, the Schlegels, the Harmons, the Basers. You put 2 quarters together, you're not guaranteed to win a game. You know, you got to put 4 quarters together. So I think we learned a lot about that game from ourselves. You know, just going at every quarter like it matters and every play like it matters.
So tonight, Washington, big league rival, big game. What do you think your team has to do to win?
Well, we got to rebound. You know, it's been a story of our year so far. Is we got to play great defense. We got to rebound the basketball on the offense on the defensive end. We can't just give them easy putbacks. They're big. They're athletic. They can shoot it real well. You know, they don't really have a weakness that glares out at you. So you got to play solid all the way around on the defensive end. And then on offense, we just got to take care of the ball. I think we can score. You know, we got a lot of scores. We got a lot of different ways we can score. But it all matters, can we stop them from scoring? And can we make them earn all their baskets? Because, you know, those offensive rebounds that Dominique gets and Japa gets, you know, and those are easy putbacks. And then, you know, you got King out there and Allen out there that can flat out shoot it. You know, they're about as good as or hardest matchup as we have all year.
We talked about this is the first time doing this, so I did incorporate something that we're calling the deep 3. You know, everybody likes to shoot that deep 3 from behind the arc. So what we have is 3 semi-deep but not deep questions, just kind of in it. It could be random, they could be anything. So question number 1.
All right.
It's most people know that your mom is a principal at Harmon, used to be an assistant principal or principal here.
Assistant
principal here. We also know you're pretty animated on the sideline. I think one game somebody compared you to like a Frank Martin. I compared myself to Frank Martin. I went off on my daughter a few weeks ago, but did your mom ever tell you that you got to chill out?
Not in those words.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's times where she's like, man, your face was bright red on that play, or, you know, hey, you know, calm down a little bit. You guys were up 10 at the time, or things like that. But, you know, never, you know, chill out. But, yeah, kind of relax a little bit when you guys are leading. You know, I don't ever pay attention to the score hardly anyway until the end. So she's kind of mentioned that a little bit.
That's what I was wondering, because a lot of people knowing her, a lot of people knowing you. I wonder if she's like, oh, you got to calm down a little bit. You don't want to mess up my reputation at the same time. All right, question 2. What's your favorite basketball movie?
That's a good one. My favorite basketball movie is probably Hoop Dreams.
Oh, old school.
Yeah, I go back in the day. I have to show our kids Hoop Dreams. You know, every once in a while, like, Hoop Dreams. I'm like, hey, don't worry, just go check it out. It's good.
It's a good documentary. And our last of the Deep 3, Valentine's Day was this week.
Yeah.
What'd you get your wife?
Well, we had a game, so that kind of bailed me out there for a little bit. But I got her some flowers and a card, and you know, we had celebrated Valentine's actually last night. So we had a little cheaper version, and you know, it got me off the hook on the 14th, and I didn't forget. So
gotcha.
I had an extra day.
All right, Coach. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Again, this is Coach Dan Parra, head coach of the Sumner Academy Sabres. A big game tonight versus the Washington Wildcats, with pretty much league implications on the line. This is Vernon Birmingham with KCK Preps. Thank you for your time.